Welcome to another Straight Up Tuesday tip. I'm 𝗤𝘃𝗃𝗀𝘁. With me as always is Mark 𝗕𝗁, and with us, I think this is 5-time champion territory. Seg Kev, welcome back.
It might be 3, it could be 4, but
I think we're getting up there.
Yeah, no, appreciate you having me, guys, as always.
So Seg Kev from CSSI, most recently on episode 392, where we talked a lot. That was an in-depth full episode on cost segregation. Your original episode, I went and looked at it. Do you want to guess what was what number your first episode was?
Can you tell me, was it 100, over 100 or under?
Under 100.
87.
59.
Whoa,
you're early on. That's pretty.
Yeah, that was early.
Yeah, that's cool. Super cool. That's awesome.
You guys met. You guys met from the podcast, but you guys knew each other from back in the day, but you guguys didn't know you guys were doing the same thing, right? Do I remember that story correct?
Yeah, it was
same industry.
It was. I went to high school at St. Pat's. So did Tom's brother Paul. So he was my year, but I never talked to Tom at all in high school. My brother was your year, right, Tom?
Yeah, you were my brother's year, and I was your brother's year.
Yeah. So then his accountant called me and said, "Hey, are you Brendan Cawley's brother?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're doing cost seg?" "Yeah." And he said, "I got a good client for you," and it was Tom. So funny how it all works out, you know.
Full circle in Portage Park here.
Yes.
All right. So, and I recently called you again. You know, this is going to air in November 2025.
Okay.
And I'm making a purchase right now. I said, "Hey, we got to get the cost seg done before December 31st." And you gave me a bunch of different information on deadlines. And I said, we should probably record this for our listeners. So for those who are looking to do a cost seg, you know, and they're saying, "Oh my God, like it's November. Do I have to rush this in?" What are the actual deadlines that they need to be aware of?
So super common misconception. No joke. In the past 2 weeks, I've got it over a dozen times. No joke. Everyone thinks they got to have the cost seg done by calendar year, end of calendar year 25, December 31st, 2025. That's not the case. The tax year and the calendar year are two different things. So what I tell these clients and prospective clients is, hey, don't sweat it. We could finish the cost seg in February, right? Of course, people want it done early. I'm just saying to ease their mind, because it just got to be done before you file your 2025 taxes. When do you file your 25 taxes? The earliest you can is March and April, right? And then if you extend, the latest you could is going to be September, October of 26 for tax year 2025. So there's an abundance of time. And so, yeah, that's a very common misconception. I wanted your listeners to know. And Tom, you fell in that bucket of, hey, we got to get moving because I got to have it done by the end of 2025 calendar year, which is just not the case.
Yep. So if you're filing an extension, you technically could drag this all the way out to, you know, do it sometime in the summer, leave time for the actual report to get done. Right? Yes. You can't just wait. Can't do it October 1st and want it October 15th.
Yeah, you could. I'll charge the shit out of you. But
that is a good question, though. What is the timeline?
Actually, do that.
What is the typical timeline? I guess I don't know that answer.
For a study to be done?
Yeah, if I called you up today and I signed your agreement today, how long does it typically take to turn around reasonably without
any expedition fees or anything like that? 2 weeks is the truth. That's 2 weeks after I get your appraisal, after I visit the property, after we decide on basis net of land, right, with your tax pro. Once I get all that, it'll take 2 weeks. So safe to say, let's do it this way: 3 weeks, right? Give me a week to gather all that stuff and come out to the property. So 3 weeks.
Yep. All right. And then, you know, this is especially true if you're doing rehabs. You know, I did this, Jeff and I did a study like this where we did it in two phases, right? Like we bought the building and we did the cost seg on it, and then we cost seg post improvements so we can get the benefits in both calendar years. And I'm walking into another situation where I'm likely going to do that. Talk to us about, you know, walk us through what a 2-step process would look like and why that would make sense for investors. Or in what circumstances does that make sense for investors?
Sure. So what circumstances it makes sense? We'll start here. We do call it a phased study because there's 2 phases. It happens all the time. Client purchases a property, is going to put X amount into it. But let's say they buy it in today, right, November, and they want to put $1 million into it, $500K into it, $100K into it. They likely can't spend it all or finish the work by year end. So we suggest, why don't we do a phase study? You bought the building. Let me do a study on it as is, okay? And then we take all your improvements that you put into it, and we'll use it for tax year 2026. That way you don't rush it. You get the full benefit of all the improvements. And the real reason people do this, Tom, is it's I guess there's a handful of reasons. We'll go over a few. One is that just the timing of when they close versus how long it's going to take to do the improvement. So that's example one. Another one would be guys who don't want to do that because they don't need a huge tax deferral this year. So some guys say, I'm going to buy it. I'll tell you what, I don't need, I'm paying 25 grand this year, not a big deal. Why don't we wait till the project's done and we'll do it all next year? Or the other case is they did increase, excuse me, in the big beautiful bill, this thing called 179 immediate expense. Okay, so back before the big beautiful bill, a lot of your interior improvements you could expense up to a certain dollar amount. With the new big beautiful bill, they increased that expense limit to 2.4 million. It's huge. So Tom, in your case, and I'll pause after that because it seemed like you had a question. But in your case, you could buy a building for X and you're going to put less than 2.4 mil in interior improvements. Likely those can all be expensed without me doing anything. And your accountant won't charge you extra. It's just part of their day job.
Yep. So from the investor side, it's really a matter of where, and I'm not even assuming you have private investors on this. I'm just, you personally,
sure.
It's kind of dependent on where your income is at. Right, because you're gonna get the benefit either way, whether it's chopped up into 2 years.
Yes.
It's just, hey, if this year I'm not paying a lot of taxes, let's not bother with it. Let's just all do it. We'll do everything in 2026. We don't have to worry about it now.
Sure.
Or if we're trying to take advantage of something this year,
exactly,
and do the 2-phase, the building as is, and then the second phase of the additional improvements.
Yeah, you nailed it. So that's ideal. Ideal. It happens all the time. Those two exact scenarios are probably the most that happen. In this
okay.
case.
And for someone like me who's buying something that's vacant or not stabilized, does the property need to be put into service,
sure,
by December 31st or just before the tax year ends? Like, how does that work as well?
So yeah, we want it in service in calendar year 25 so that we could, use the benefits, any tax benefits for tax year 25. So you want in service. Between you and I and the listeners, I've seen very aggressive accountants say, hey, the real term in service means ready for its intended use, right? So whether you have a tenant in there or not should have no bearing on whether it's in service or not. But then I've seen guys, very aggressive guys, go, if you're paying a ComEd bill, it's in service. It's like, well, yeah. So then I've seen guys to say, no, you want a tenant in it. Otherwise, I'm not signing off on it. So there's super aggressive guys, maybe too soft of a guy. And then the guys in the middle are kind of the guys I like to deal with who say, hey, we're going to put in service. The guys, it's already marketing, right? We're marketing rental units. Even though no one's in, we're putting it in service. So
got it.
Short answer, yes. Short answer, yes.
Yeah. So like buying a vacant building at the end of the year, like you really leave yourself minimal options unless you have a very aggressive accountant, right? Like you need almost even if you're going to do a heavy rehab, if you have a few tenants in there, you
sure,
can at least take advantage. Yeah.
Or if you marketed it, for, 10 days, 14 days, I mean, you put it out there. It depends, just so you guys know and the listeners, the accountants are always going to put the onus on you. That's what they're going to do. That's what they do. So it's not going to be like Tom, like James ain't going to say, I'm going to sign off on this. He's going to go, hey, how do you feel about it? At the end of the day, it's on you. So just so the listeners know, they're there for guidance, but they're not there to make the decisions for you.
Got it. All right. And going back to timing, if we bought something before January of this year, so let's say you bought something in, the fall of 2024, you can still cost seg that now, right? But you will not be eligible for the 100% bonus depreciation that was passed for buildings after whatever date that is in January. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So the date is January 19th of 25. Anything purchased 24 and calendar year 24 up to January 19th, 25 gets 60% bonus depreciation locked in. So moving forward, they say 100% is, going to go for infinity. I think it's just going to go until someone else gets in office. But, safe to say we got a few more years at least in this 100%.
Got it.
Awesome. So one question that since we recorded our episode a few months ago that I keep finding myself into these conversations of how What's like the minimum threshold that someone should be, what's the minimum spend they're putting into a rehab that they should still be considering this? Because I was talking to a couple different people, and like,
Sure.
oh, I'm not doing any 200,000 type rehabs. It's like, that's not the number, man. Like, it is.
No, it's the number is your basis, no matter, regardless of if it's rehab or not, right?
Yeah. So if you give some advice of when, what makes sense, or what's the minimalist type rehab you're doing that does make sense, so, or has an existing rehab.
A lot of it's changed. So there's a rule, the de minimis safe harbor rule. So anything $5,000 or less, they're going to expense it no matter what. Now with this 179 immediate expense, these interior improvements for residential properties, for commercial, oh my God, you could throw in the roof, the HVAC, insane for commercial stuff, expensing this crap. For residential, you can, but a lot of your interior improvements, you could expense up to 2.4 million now. I mean, that's a huge number. That's massive. So if you're going to spend 10K, who cares? Your accountant's going to expense it. I mean, it's just what's going to happen, right? Now, again, residential, if you're fixing your roof, spending 10K, no. But if you're going to, redo some drywall, some painting, maybe build a wall, throw some studs in, all that stuff, they're going to expense it. One important thing to not go in the weeds, the 179 immediate expense deduction cannot create a net operating loss for you. Okay. So if it's going to get you to an NOL, net operating loss, you're going to be capped there. What's cool is then clients couple that with cost seg, because cost segregation does allow you to create a net operating loss, which is a big deal. So without going into the weeds, the best way to do improvements or these phase studies is cost seg plus the improvements, which most will hit the 179D. Then we just play the game. Let's max out the 179D. Whatever's left over, I'll cost seg for you and create a nice big loss on top of it.
Yep. Let me kind of rephrase it a little. Sure. Let's say I'm buying a building. I'm going to put, whatever, hundreds of $1,000s into it and do this giant rehab. The cost seg to someone who just buys, let's say like in theoretical example, I turned around and sold that building to someone. Someone bought that same exact building turnkey, but they didn't lift a hammer. Mm-hmm. Our cost seg is basically the same, right? Even though I did the work, like it's all about the basis and what you can write off there, whether you're the one who did the work or the building was the one. Like you can buy a turnkey asset and still have a huge savings from cost seg.
For sure, yeah. Because the guy who prior did the work, you're paying a premium for all that. It's going to go towards your basis. You know what
Correct.
I mean?
Like the basis, no matter what it is, it's the cost of the building, the cost of improvements, take out the land.
Sure.
And that's what you're working with.
What about new construction?
What about it? So
same thing. Like, is it any different? Like, you got everything's brand new. Can the new buyer come in and depreciate it all down?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually I love.
And then he can sell it in 5 years later, and that next guy can do it too, right? Like it gets reused when you change LLCs or when you change.
Sure. Yeah. The depreciation always resets. Mark, with your question, I love new developments because I'll ask the guy, "Hey, let me get your blueprints, architectural drawings." We literally see, literally, what this building's made of. It's way easier than examining a turnkey building. It's already done, right? Because likely they won't have the blueprints, right? So we got to go in and make some assumptions. But on a new development, oh my God, it's literally all there. Sheetrock, the studs they used, everything's there. It's amazing. So I would say it's easier to do a new development.
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good stuff. Anything else we didn't cover around timelines and dates that you want to mention before we wrap here?
I'm talking to a firm now, guys. We got to get on this. I'm learning it now, but they call it a 1245 exchange. So listen to this. This is super cool. It's for when we do a cost seg, we take real property, change it to personal property. You can't just 1031. All the real property, so everything a guy like me segregates out, will always be recaptured. This group, I'm trying to vet this with some very savvy CPAs to see if it's real, but they say they have a 1245 exchange. So if that's real, I'd love to go on the show and we can go over that. But it's a way to further defer, and sometimes eliminate recapture when selling a building that you did cost seg for. So we'll see. I got several calls to line up with them and their team, but if that's a real deal, we'll get on this, and that can be very helpful for all your listeners.
Wow, what a cliffhanger.
I love it. Yeah. Nice. All right. On that note, we wrap with the Chicago Fact. I'm assuming sponsored by CSSI. Mark, who are we playing for?
Yep, we're playing for Tina Grubling. And Tina, if myself or Seg Kev gets the question right, you get a $50 gift card brought to you by CSSI.
Sweet.
All right. Our lovely host here lives in Downers. Downers Grove has how many confirmed Sears Kit Homes.
Sears Kit Home. Oh my gosh, there's a
And
ton.
your options are.
Oh, cool. Option. Thank God. I was just saying.
I think you've asked this question before.
I think I asked it on a different burb.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So Downers has 6, 18, 36, or 68.
Do I just get to say it?
You guys each guess
Oh,
guess a different one. Give the listener two chances, two shots.
We managed 2 of them. I know that. So,
I see those ones, buddy.
I'll say 18.
I was gonna go 68, the highest number.
68 it is.
All right.
Whew, way to be.
You're welcome,
Wow.
Tina.
Yeah, they do have one of the heavier ones that are left because a lot of them have been torn down. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if I did
All right,
ask
awesome.
that question before, Mark, you were very far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I don't remember the answer, obviously. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tina, congrats. You get $50 gift card brought to you by today's sponsor, CSSI. Kevin, thank you for coming on as always. Tom, thank you. Listeners, reach out, be our friend. Let us know anything we can help you with or any resource that we can share with you. We're here to help you grow your business, be a straight up Chicago investor. So, Kevin, thank you. Tom, thank you. And listeners, we'll see you Thursday.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
all.